Islamist rebels in Syria.
Those airstrikes in Syria.
Bürgerkrieg in Syrien.
Launched this airstrike.
A mass exodus.
People are caught in the crossfire.
Children crawling under razor wire.
Now more than 4 million officially recognized refugees from the Syrian conflict.
For most of the time, this was everything I ever heard about this seemingly so far away country called Syria. One thing I learned over the years, though, is that what is portrayed in the media is barely ever the full picture. So when the civil war then ended in December 2024, I saw an opportunity to challenge my perceptions and find out about this country myself. Coming in by bus from Jordan, I wasn't really sure if this was a good idea after all. But I met Pavlo, Polish traveler, crossing the border with me. To be fair, the first evening was pretty chaotic. But in the next morning, we got to see the old town of Damascus in a new light. Most people were curious to see foreigners in their city. And after delicious breakfast, Amhenna, a young local, came to approach us.
When you see foreigners here, what is your first thought? What did you think?
I feel happy because they start coming to Syria because I think it's a beautiful place to visit.
But before we knew it, we went sightseeing with them.
Yeah, second front.
Okay, thank you.
But that's the experience, right?
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
It didn't take us long to arrive at our destination, Sidnaya Monastery. So apparently this is the second oldest church in the world, and it's right outside of Damascus. Even though this church is more than 1,500 years old, and people here still speak Aramaic, Jesus' language, the entire history of Syria is older. Way older. It's believed that civilization in Syria is one of the most ancient on Earth, dating back to 10,000 BC. But since then, it's pretty much always been occupied by foreign empires or had conflicts in its region. With all that destruction over thousands of years, it's a small wonder that this monastery is still here today. On our way back to Damascus, we saw in the distance Sidnaya prison, a place we would soon learn more about. Syria has been ruled by the Assad family since 1971, but in 2011, as part of the Arab Spring, Syrian people started protesting against their ruler. Bashar al-Assad responded with brutal repression. This sparked the uprising of hundreds of resistance and rebel groups, and also the involvement of terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, and ISIS.
I was telling them about the most scary time in Syria. In this time, 2014, 2015, 2016, Damascus will always bombed by the people surrounded by Damascus.
Yeah.
Because regime Assad was in Damascus and
The rebels.
the rebels was out of the Damascus. Rebels was trying to bomb the regime Assad, and between all these war, just the Kilovans and the humans, civilians died.
For more than a decade, the country was torn apart by civil war.
Yeah, it was a scary time.
Yeah.
I remember that thing. Actually, we are all scared. We duct taped all the windows. just because we are afraid of an explosion that might happen around our house that will gonna shatter the glass, and those glass shatters will just fall on our bodies and might kill us.
If we are sitting like that here, no one knows whose time is gonna die. It's absolutely like this. You don't know where the bomb is coming for you and kill you.
I think the most important thing to know is that this wasn't a war of good against evil, but many different parties fighting for their own reasons. The UN Commission of Inquiry said, I quote, "Parties to the conflict have cumulatively committed almost every crime against humanity listed in the Rome Statute and nearly every war crime applicable in a non-international armed conflict." Assad had help from Iran and Russia, but there were more actors involved. Between all those militaries, weapons, bombs and chaos, the human beings on the ground were the biggest victims. Al-Assad's biggest weapons, some say, wasn't the bombs, however, it was his prisons. Sidnaya prison, the building we had just seen the day before, was feared among all Syrians. Nicknamed the human slaughterhouse, barely anyone ever made it out, and the ones who did made us imagine the worst. As only one of more than 20 of its kind, it's believed that just here, more than 30,000 detainees were killed by the Assad regime by ill treatment, torture, and mass executions since the outbreak of the civil war.
In 2014, my grandfather, tomorrow will you say it, and my uncle was in prison for 10 months. My grandfather, his age was 70, and my uncle, his age was about 40. When he come back, you cannot say that's a human.
Al-Hussein invited us to show us some important places the next day, so naturally, we said yes.
You can sit here.
I think here because I have the back.
So we got invited by those amazing people and their grandfather to actually eat with them, and the food looks amazing. It's... oh, wow. And because having a good time is part of Syrian culture, that's what we did.
It's more strong, but it's just a little bit.
I don't drink any coffee at all. This is gonna kill me. After this pretty eventful lunch, we didn't get to spend more time with his grandfather because they wanted to show us some more places before the sun set. So we thanked them and said our goodbyes, only to be confronted with a way more serious mood.
This was a military base.
That was a military base?
Yeah.
That was where the snipers were?
Yes. So sometimes when you was in your car, driving this road,
Yeah.
then you will see the body.
Oh shit.
Body in the street.
Yeah.
Like if you talk about Assad, the world can hear you.
You're gonna get tortured.
Yes.
The landscape looks beautiful. But then I was told that not far from here, there was a mass grave believed to have more than 100,000 bodies in it. And my stomach dropped. People alive in their graves.
All of them are numbers. Yeah. There's no names, just numbers. So nobody knows who's actually in those graves. Actually, many people are looking for their loved ones.
They brought us to the beautiful city of Maaloula, and more specifically to an old hotel that used to be the pride of the city.
خلينا نسأل السيارة. Wait, it's great.
And now we're gonna explore this old abandoned hotel.
By the way, it
It's
was
5-star.
5-star hotel.
It was actually.
Yeah.
Shooting by the bullet.
bullets,
Yeah.
bombs, everything.
This one
That's
was
the
one
list.
of my holiday houses in the area.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll book the room tonight.
Yes. The reception is here waiting for us. I can serve you.
How much room for reservation? One night.
Yes, for you it's free.
room.
And you are from Germany? It's
Yeah.
free for you.
This is very eerie. To think that this was a beautiful hotel.
Do you know what is the most beautiful thing about Maaloula? It's you can see the mosque telling us Al Quran, and you can see
church.
the church. Yeah, it's a like
A mixture of
Yes.
peace and the people living together.
And this was exactly why the guys had brought us here.
Safir Hotel. It's a 5-star hotel. It's destroyed. It's all destroyed here.
I feel sorrow.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful place.
Sorry.
And it's really sad to see this place was now it's in ruins. When it used to have like those families who spent their holidays in this hotel, but now they no more have that thing.
Yeah. The city of Maaloula has long been a symbol of harmony between Christians and Muslims in Syria.
We don't have that fight between Christian and Muslim. That Assad regime put it in our head. Like you are a Christian, you are Muslim, you are Durzi, you are like this, and make the people fight by each other.
Maybe that was just the reason why it became one of the many battlegrounds in the civil war. In 2013 and 14, the Syrian army fought in Maaloula against an Al-Qaeda-linked group that was led by no other than a man that today is the new Syrian president.
ISIS were on the mountains, so when I think one of the armies, maybe Al-Assad armies, tried to enter Maaloula and fight them, so they hide on the mountains. So it was very hard to catch them there. It was very hard.
The Battle of Maaloula was a brutal one, but it's finished over more than a decade ago. Still, it wasn't until December of 2024 that the Assad regime fell after rebels had seized control over the country.
It's hard to explain it to you.
But we were happy. We felt hopeful. Like we can build our country. We can contribute
Yes.
in the building process, like other countries, like Germany after World War II, like Marshall Plan. Now we can just join that movement and help our country to recover and be a better place.
Yes, I want to say something. I'm the person who very hard to cry. Yani, almost I don't cry. Whatever happened to me, I don't cry. But in that day when Assad down, yes, when we able to go inside our land that taken by the military, and we are like go inside it and see our castle from 1,000 years ago between our hands. I cannot hold myself, and I cry, and my brother, my uncle, everyone in the city like was happy, was cry.
We were happy for the detainees who were in the prisons, and especially in Sednaya prison, which is very close from here.
Yeah.
I mean, so many atrocities that were happening in that place, and they no longer happen anymore. So we were happy for that thing. It's the most happiest thing that happened after Al-Assad regime fall.
How much I talk, I cannot explain how we feel that day.
Many people are asking themselves now, what is going to happen to the refugees now that the civil war's over? I asked Al Hussein and Tarek the same question.
Yes, a lot of my friends and my aunt and my cousins and a lot of my family in German. Yes, and my aunt it's a doctor in German, and we have a lot of doctors and like science people. You know what? It's hard to rebuild Syria. We should put hand on hand and rebuild it from ourselves. If we are free enough and we have natural resources in our hands, I think we will build it, rebuild it, and we will make a beautiful country. So for my relatives in Germany, come and let's build Syria together, guys. But one thing, I owe you guys. I owe you Mo and his family and all German government and the European people that help us.
That help the refugees
Yes.
get there and have a better life.
Yes.
I think what sums it up best is what Mahmoud told me earlier. We are Syrian. We can do anything. What surprised me most about the Syrian people is the lightheartedness. They're exposed to overwhelming destruction and open wounds of the past. And still, they stay optimistic.
Guys, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
answering
You're
the
welcome.
questions and also
You're
for
welcome.
helping us so much.
I want to say thank you to come here and show the real young man Syrian and the crowd.
That is not really. You guys are bringing people together. Thanks for being so kind. Thank you so much.
Why I'm being so emotional here right now?
As the day ended, we said goodbye to our friends, and my head was full of perspectives, memories.
We basically got adopted by those great Syrian guys. Now we're walking through old Damascus in the dark.
And I was grateful for being able to challenge my prejudices and learn so much about a place that's so different than the one that I'm from. After all, we're all humans in this world, and no matter what someone will tell you, we share more than what separates us.